Hey guys, this is Turok, and in this video I'm going to be doing a review of One Piece chapter 1160. Yeah. So in this chapter, what's the chapter name of this one? Actually, I keep forgetting to do that. I think the chapter name of this one is the God Valley Incident. As you see, I don't have the cover page on this. I got the, anyways, in the last chapter, this is still like a build-up from the last chapter. I'm really enjoying this. This is going to be rough to watch in the anime, though, because there's so much going on here. I wonder if they'll have to break these last two chapters, this one and 59, into, more than one episode. A lot is going on here. And we're still just like building up to what's gonna the fight. We don't even know. I'm really hoping that by the end of this we see some action. I want to see, especially who Whitebeard clashed with. I think I'm getting this wrong. But I thought for a while there that Whitebeard had a scar. He had a scar. He says I thought it was a scar on his chest, but it must be something else. But he mentioned when he fights, when he talks with Shanks after Enies Lobby. We see the post Enies Lobby part of the story. He talks to Shanks and says, "Every time I look at you, my scar throbs." So I want to see if he's going to fight Garling in this incident. We don't see here again. Some of this rehashes a bit what happened when we saw this flashback through Kuma, which was like about 62 chapters ago, I think. And we get a little bit more though. We're seeing. By the way, I really messed this one up. This is something like I didn't want. I'm glad I didn't look because I sometimes I find other stuff afterward. But this is when I should have seen. When I looked, what happened when Shaki was kidnapped. I missed the fact that right here, that Wang Ji was in on the kidnapping of Shaki. They show him counting money here, while the others, Gloriosa and everyone else, is all upset over what happened. Meaning that he was the inside man that helped the Gods Knights, likely the Gods. That could have been Cypher Pole Zero too. I keep thinking, I gotta remember, that could have been one or the other. They're both. I keep thinking of the Gods Knights because now we know that they and the Gorosei have that weird summoning stuff. But with these pirates always drinking and partying, I'm sure Cypher Pole could have gotten there as well. But they probably they paid off Wang Ji here. You can see him counting the money. Can I move him over like that there? To help get in there, and then maybe he was even the one that killed Don Marlin, who was on guard duty with the others that day that Shaki was kidnapped. And so yeah, she was kidnapped, and we saw she was kept as a prisoner. This again, I'm wondering too if this is what could have happened for shoot, I forgot to look at the math of that. I have a no, yeah, I did say that. I think I did the math, and I was thinking back to Ginny again. I was wondering if Ginny could have been like temporarily held like that as a prisoner to be a prize. It's possible because she wouldn't have been in prison as long. I was doing the math, and I think I'm correct. The year she was kidnapped would have been one of the years that they held as prize. They don't. This contest that the Celestial Dragons do. They do it every 3 years, and like the 14 years ago is when she was kidnapped, and that's the right year, I think. So, anyways, they capture Shaki, yeah, and then they're planning to do that her as a prize. And there's a couple other parts here I'm a little confused by. I'm gonna get into later, but yeah, she's a prize here, and then Teach is here, and Shanks and Shamrock is all here, and Dragon is like at the center of this. We focus quite a bit more on Dragon here, and then toward the end we see the others. So let me get into it though. So here we go. We start off with so what happened here is that somehow what I didn't. This is the part I'm most confused on. The last chapter right here, we saw that Dragon comes upon Blackbeard's mother, Rox's wife, and she's been injured by probably shot by one of the other Marines already. And I see. Wait a minute. So they captured her already. Okay, that's right. She had handcuffs on, so some other Marines must have captured her or tried to subdue her for this competition. And then she was tried to escape, and it looks like they resorted to using live ammo. What do we call it? Live ammo, because they were trying to use tranquilizers to instead. And He tracked her. Dragon tracks her down, and she says, "Please try to save my son." And this is very heartbreaking. I'm not going to go into this in depth, but I understand where Blackbeard's probably the most dangerous and one of the worst characters in the thing story. Other Doflamingo, in my opinion, is the worst. Oh God, I bet you know what I bet's going to happen. I bet they're going to use a history repeating itself kind of thing in this story later, where we find out Blackbeard has a child after he's defeated, and like Luffy and the others are going to be like, well, we should take care of him and then raise him, so someone's going to raise him so he doesn't become like his dad and is kind of like his grandfather. This by the way does make like Rox a much more sympathetic kind of character too. Again, I compared him with Doflamingo in the last chapter, and how he Doflamingo I don't think would ever want to have any children. He just is looking for out for himself, and to some extent he does care for people like Pika and the others, but he really wanted to have that immortal life through Law's Devil Fruit so that he can outlast these other Yonko and become king of the world and outlast. Apologies for the get up. I have to feel a little chill and it keeps making my sinuses act up. So yeah, so with Doflamingo, what I'm wondering about is that what if Doflamingo, I planned on a video 2 years ago talking about whether Doflamingo knows about Eam. And I'm glad I kind of waited on it. I'm still trying to think about what, because he said he has some knowledge about stuff in the Marijois that would make, that that's why they wouldn't kill him. And he was able to work a deal with them to get his position as the warlord. And you could see even a Cypher Pole Zero was involved in this. So there's something going on there. So I wonder if Doflamingo knew about Eam. If he also knows, because here's that only the gods' knights among the celestial dragons, other than the Gorosei, know about Eam Sama, and I wonder if Doflamingo figured that out too in some way, and that his knowledge there or something else, some MacGuffin object too, is the other thing I was thinking about. That's why they wouldn't kill him. The part I'm confused on is I thought Dragon here at the end was gonna come and take Teach away, but somehow here he maybe because he didn't have the what do you call it, like courage, I guess, to do this without and something like the courage is this stand up to his you can see here it's gonna come along here. But either way, what my point is, at the beginning, and now we're moved on here. We're first. This is probably like a minute later after this page here. The where Shaka is showing up there to be the special prizes, and they're trying to amp up the people, the men there especially, it looks like, who want to have her as their wife. We went over this last time. We saw what happened to Ginny, having a wife or a slave. It doesn't really matter. It's all the same to these celestial dragons. They don't treat people right who are below it. It's ownership to them. The distinction here is probably very gray. Not very gray, the lightest of gray, I should say, between what a slave and a wife means to these people. So what happened here, I want to get at, is that Teach and his mother, and we actually get to see her face there. I'll just go in a minute. Now, they're up there on display as part of the prizes in this contest now. Like, so we get this whole line here where these people are like, oh, look, it's members of the Davy clan. And we see that the hate here, there's something here among the celestial dragons where they know that Davy clan are someone they view as despicable. And one even says there, oh, you're just like the Buccaneers, aren't you? I have it. My main theory on something, I want to throw a bit of a theory out on this part. I wonder if the Davy clan and the Buccaneers, I wonder if these two clans were each associated with a separate nation back in the day that fought in the side with the what we call the Ancient Kingdom and fought against the alliance of the 20 kingdoms that won. That's my initial thought. We also know that there's something to do with the Davy. Rox gave us a little tidbit showing that Davy clan has followers of the first pirate, Davy Jones, which we don't know. Was it the first pirate? Oh wait, let me see again. How did they say that? Anyways, no, it was either follower Davy Jones or descendants of the Davy Jones, the first pirate. So there's something there associated with might mean something to do with uh, Joy Boy, who Vegapunk, through his research, figured that would mean that said that Joy Boy is the first pirate. So, anyways, the prizes here are up there, and yeah, I wanted to go in this part. This is nice that at least because we don't get a picture of Shanks and Shamrock's mom, but we do see right here, poor young Teach and um his mother together there. So she's a nice woman. I'm just starting to think. I'm wondering how she and Rox met. We just know that he sent her here afterward because he was afraid. That was one thing that's clever of Rox. I like that he. And it was in the last chapter of the other one when he brought that up. He's like, oh, I don't want. He wanted to keep it a secret from even all his close associates. They had a child because he understands, much like Dragon later on, he understands that his position in the world, he has a target on his back, and he doesn't want his wife and child to be harmed. So unfortunately, it looks like do they show what happens to her here? I don't know if she escapes with cheats. I don't think they show that one here. Maybe we'll find out in the next chapter. If she does escape here, we know for sure then she must die in the next like 10 years. That's it's roughly that long away when Whitebeard picks up Teach and makes him part of his crew. So yeah, they're all here. You can see it again clearly that the Celestial Dragons know a bit about the Davy clan and have quite a bit of visceral hate for them. Same with Buccaneers. So they're starting to throw shit at them. And already they're like a crowd when they're throwing what do you call it when they do that stuff to like a stage production or something. And anyways, Teach is here getting traumatized while his mother's trying to protect him, and I give her a lot of credit. I'm very I was reading this again. It was just very sad here. And anyway, so we switch to Saturn and Garling. And so Saturn's congratulating Garling for finding him. Oh, you did well. Yeah, because this is what, like we said, this is what he had found here. He was investigating here, and so Garling. This is something interesting. How many characters has Oda done this with? I think there's Van Auger was the one I kept noticing doing this the most, but also there's Zoro does this sometimes, and we see it Garling too. Oh, this is an act of fate. Oda likes to throw that in there a lot with certain members of these characters that they think fate is a real an actor of things that are meant to happen here, and that's very interesting. Now I'm gonna be making a list now of all looking for all the characters that talk like that. So we go back to Dragon, and now he's found Shank's mom. So she wait a minute here. So wait a minute, that's confusing then. Oh. So I didn't think about this, but I thought, okay, I didn't piece it. I was getting so wrapped up in stuff with teaching the dragons, some other stuff that's gonna happen with dragon. I just noticed the way I understand this, Shanks and Shamrock were just left there where well, this looks like a separate one. After Shamrock, Garland killed Shanks and Shamrock's mom. It looks like he didn't do anything with the kids. He was just planning on letting them die with her. And then we find that Dragon found her. He's probably like searching other places for. Maybe he was looking for. I don't know if he's like looking for people he wants to try. He's trying to save them, or he's trying to do it to make sure he can not save them, or looking for other people he's supposed to be going around and tranquilizing them. But look, he one way or the other. He's come upon Shanks and Shamrock's mom. And it looks like the kids are still with him because we're going to see later that he's carrying them. Dragon had Shanks and Shamrock in his arms. It's just like the stuff that Dragon is around here. The characters here, Dragon saves is amazing. It's just the pulls, the ties Oda is putting together. It's just awesome here. So right here, yeah, it's very interesting. There's I just had to bring up the unofficial translation because there's a couple lines here with Dragon specifically in this that are interesting to view because they sound a little better in the unofficial version. So yeah, Dragon here is running off with Shanks and Shamrock and trying to protect them from being harmed in this game, and we see that just the last bit here. I don't know why Oda decided not to show Shamrock and Shanks' mom when he did with Teach. But yes, so Dragon's running off here, and it doesn't show up here, but later they will. It looks like he's carrying them together, and he's very conflicted here because it's going to point out he's worried about his comrades in his platoon or group being harmed as well if he disobeys their orders. So he's running off here, and he said, yes, the way it reads here is a little weird compared to the other version. It says here, if I don't do something, I'm going to collapse under the weight of it all. But then it's like, if I can't do much, I can't do that much, but I got no business just standing around. That was very different. Anyways, no, the other version later is better. So now we go back to the game, and we see the this host of it doing it all, talking about the point system yet. They got 13 super rare rabbits. And then, so I'm wondering at that point that is including probably both Teach and his mom, at least Teach. And yeah, we can see her again there. Sadly, she's trying to, and this is bad too. This is what makes it horrible. It's not just Teach and his mom. As you can see here, they have other family members, children, and parents together there. And when this is where sick later, we get to see how these, the games these people like to play with children and parents just to fuck around. They're just for their entertainment. It's just despicable. So yeah, as you can see here, as we go through this bit, focusing more on Dragon at this point, we get to see more. We see little bits and pieces of Kuma and the others that we saw from his flashback initially. All right, so yeah, so there's a 3-week thing like I thought last time. I was trying to remember that from the Kuma's chapter, and so all these people are like thinking, okay, we gotta. They're all like, at this point, it's sad because this is what the Celestial Dragons want. But yeah, the people here are all like trying to look out for themselves. There's a lot, and sadly here again, you see more people with their kids, and their first instinct is how to hide and save themselves. And then we got these fucking assholes here ready. Let's have fun. Let's get ready. Yep, and you can see here, this couple and their child tried to hide, but he heard them. And then all we ever see is the shooting. So like, this is very tough part right here. And then we get more of that with the other parents we see. We're like, oh, please spare my husband and my life. And it's like, it's just awful. When this comes in the anime, this is going to be rough to watch. And so we go to Marijois briefly, and we just see them enjoying the game. Oh, it's just a special event for them. It's a Super Bowl for them or some crap like that. But, the Super Bowl is kind of fun to watch sometimes, but now the comparison when we look at this now just makes my stomach turn. Anyways, we have to, and we see how popular Garling is. He's out there winning the game because he's just, it's almost, I almost think that the God's Knights shouldn't be allowed to participate in this game because they're the trained military aspect of the Celestial Dragons. Mostly, there's other people, you always see them carrying a weapon around in that. Oh yeah, I didn't even read that part before. So yeah, the God's Knights are boy, I gotta really slowly read through this. So there's Gunko's gonna show up here, and so right here, this was an interesting conversation piece. Wait, what happened there? There's two God's Knights, not God Knights, Celestial Dragons are, I gotta stop looking at it. I'm just trying to make sure I'm recording. These two Celestial Dragons are talking about their betting, obviously because this is like a a thing like that, people are gonna be doing that stuff. And the other guy, the one on the left says, well, I'm petting on, the Shepherd family and Gunko for the individual race. Okay, does that mean there's a race for something else? Separate event? So anyways, the other guy's like, are you sure? She's great, but she's still not that good. He's like, this line here is interesting. The Viperd's pet devoted blade of God. The other translation reads, there's only one God steel among the knights. This is very interesting. I don't know what that means. Either way, you can kind of get the point that she's not considered as good as the others. And again, here, this is important now. We get to see her and again, why is it that she looks different, doesn't change in this point to what you see her now, and the devoted blade of God? Wait, the shepherd family. I thought she said she was part of the shepherd's family. Wait a minute, let me go back here. Yeah, I thought she's part of the other family. According to this, so we got this here. It looks like she's part with that other guy here, which we find out later is a God's Knight. This guy down here, which we saw was in the other chapter back then too, that she's part of another family, but then because Shepherd is the guy with the thorns. Wait. And wait a minute here. Yeah, I don't understand why it said. Oh, there it is. Okay, you know what it is? I messed up. So the Shepherd family for the competition, and Gunko it will win an individual race. Okay, this guy is betting on that Gunko can win an individual. We're really good in some one of the individual things, but the Shepherd family, which is Saint Shepherd with the guy with what's his name? Where is he? Is he in here? Oh wait, yeah, duh. I'm getting this mixed up. Yeah, so that's right. Shepherd Summers. Summers is the one. Shoot, I'm sorry I messed up. Summers is the one that's here with the thorn, and he's part of the Shepherd family. Which the other guy, with the other one is one of his someone who his one yeah. One of the girls say is his cousin or something like that. Probably they never said the family relations, but the young one, which is what's his name, Peter, I think, is the one that is one of the girls say, and he's one of the God's Knights. Okay, so I totally got that messed up. So yeah, the betting there is that the guy's betting that the Shepherd's family win the family competition, and then Gunko win an individual prize as like individually for her skills. And now we get to see her here. We go over and see her here, and again, it's like, why is she like this, still looking this way when the others aren't? So she's part of the Man-Mayer family, and she's going through it we saw how she did this about 15 chapters ago when she was fighting against the Straw Hats and had the kids as a thing. She's like surfing along on that arrow power she's got and taking out people very quickly. But we also, so it's like between her, when I talk about the individual point, I think we go back here briefly. I think it's like her and Garling are basically after the same, in the same competition that way. He's choosing to use these mounts that actually I didn't point out here a moment ago when we saw this other sick bastard kill this family. He's riding one of those mounts as well, some kind of bird ostrich thing. And then Gunko, though, because of her devil fruit power, is just riding along on her arrow to go along and kill the rabbits, as they're calling them, and gain enough points to win this competition. And so we can just see how different she's dressed too now. She's wearing this very prestigious kind of formal European-looking outfit, and then her hair's quite a bit longer still. And we kind of saw that, yeah, we saw in the last chapter, and so she's going along wearing that stuff, and then yeah, again, why is she just so young? So briefly, we go back to Shaki, and we see in the town here, and we see some of the other people saying, "Oh, I'm so jealous. Doesn't look like we're gonna win Shaki after all. That Garling is gonna be the one who surely to win." And and Shaka's just sitting there, and she's just kind of disheartened. Like I feel bad for her, because at this point she's probably thinking, it's the same shit what happened with Ginny. We knew what happened to Ginny. Now we get to see this happening in emotion, where she's probably realizing she's not going to be saved, and she just lost hope. It's just very hard to watch here and stuff. Think back to Ginny again, what happened to her, and so now we hear Summers here. This is the power is telling you. This sick Summers, he's found one of these little kids who's climbed in a tree to hide. And what he's done is he's wrapped his thorns around there and made it into like a trap, kind of like in the day, those traps we always see in movies and other stuff, where they put a bunch of spikes in the ground and they cover. Usually that'll be like they're covering like a pit, cover the pit to so you don't see it, and then you fall to your death, and you're turned into a pincushion. And so he's kicking the tree there and trying to make the kids fall down. And so we get this point here too, where the father's like his father is also part of the game, and he's like, "Oh, don't do that to my son." And he runs over and the kid starts falling, and he jumps to save the kid, and we don't see it, but the sound effect shows that the father sacrificed himself on the thorns to catch his son and paid the price for it. And Summer's just like, what a touching display. Oh, they really want to make us hate Summers. They're really focusing on that. Boy, we're gonna get a good. I don't know. I kind of want, since he's using thorns, I have a feeling it'll be Zoro that'll fight him. I kind of want to see Zoro just, because he did get his arm cut off, and then he started growing it back with, because eventually, Gabon, Scopper's got that unique, knows how to use that really advanced hockey. I want to see Zoro just take this guy's head off. Kind of like we saw, like the end of, the way, you saw the end for, Orochi. So this is the next part I was a little confused on here. We go to Dragon. Yeah, there's really something confusing here with the tense, the past or present tense here. So yeah, in this version here, this is something I'm gonna see if anyone else catches this if they read both versions. He's come here. I thought this was his platoon at first, because he says in the unofficial one, he said, if I thought by helping her I could defy the Celestial Dragon, yet my entire platoon ended up executed. And initially I thought that this was his platoon, but I think these are just more the regular rabbits, the rabbits, so-called, the people that are putting in the game. But I'm thinking he just came upon this, and he's finally seen all the death of these slaves and other these people who are the citizens of this island of God Valley. But in this version here, it says right there, if I defy the Celestial Dragons, my entire platoon will be killed or beheaded. So I can't figure out if that's. I'm thinking that is the more likely translation, because when we go to this next panel, you see some of these people who are part of that group, capturing people and for the game. They're trying to make sure everyone's been accounted for, and this is that. I think this was the same commander from earlier, actually, or one of as someone there who's his superior, and the other guy's saying, "Hey, where is that? Is everyone accounted for?" And this guy's like, "Oh, Dragon, I can't find him." And this guy's lying to his superior officer about Dragon being missing. And this is my favorite part of this chapter, though. So Dragon comes up upon where Ivankov is talking to Kuma and the others and giving him his inspirational speech, and this is probably right shortly after where Ginny and him reveal their plan. And this Celestial Dragons come upon them and is ready to take them out. And Dragon's like, "Wow, these people still got hope." And that's the line there. We get the line from Kuma, not Kuma, Ivankov. If we work together, we can get off of them to get off to God Valley. And so this Celestial Dragon, prepares to to take a shot at Kuma, and we get the little gunshot, but what we see is it happened. Dragon shot the Celestial Dragon and probably killed him. We don't see where the gunshot wound went in here the way Oda draws it. And oh, I love it, because it's just such a good symbolism here to Luffy, who causes the problem back at Sabaody, went and punched him. So, and at that point too, we already knew Dragon was a revolutionary standing up to the Celestial Dragons. So this really sets up well how Dragon, not only being part of this game and seeing how despicable this game is, was sick of the Celestial Dragons, but and what they do, and he actually shot one, setting up how he would be, did the ultimate taboo. Luffy just punched the guy out. Dragon actually harmed him with a bullet and probably killed him. And so now we switch over. This is what we're getting to the end now. We get to the we're seeing more of this stuff happening. Now the ships are getting attacked, and we start saying, "What's going on? What's happening?" And now we see all the pirate ships coming in. And first we start with the Rock's crew showing up. We get this great double panel again. This time, so we got this back before, one kind of like this with the and Kuma's backstory. The main difference now actually is two of them actually. Yeah, Rox is here now. When we did it before, we got to hear so in anime too. We already had that one in anime not too long ago, and we actually get to see Rox this time lined up with all the others. The only other difference I noticed really this time is we actually see Stussy is not on Whitebeard's back this time, like he was. I'm sorry, she was on his back in that other chapter. That was actually in 1096 that happened there. Yeah, we saw everyone else there. Yeah, that's all the same ones, right? We saw. Who didn't we see there well? I don't think we saw Silver Axe well in that last. Oh, that could have been Silver Axe. No, that's not Silver Axe. That's the other guy. Who was that one? That's not Strusen. Is that Silver Axe? And then there's the one. In this one, you don't see the guy with the armor. Oh, what was his name? But in this other one, you see. I don't know if that was supposed to be Silver Axe, but you saw. Yeah, you saw that was the other main difference. They showed them before like that without rocks in the middle. I'll put that up side by side. That was a good comparison. I like how I drew them. Oh, this shot's good. But anyways, yeah, they're all together here. I like this dialogue too. So we go to this bit here and we see the dialogue among them. So we even got Strusen in this shot actually. He wasn't shown in the last one. Big Mom's I think isn't that Peril Sparrow's father too? I know he's with Big Mom still and he was the head cook. So we see them all together here. Oh yeah, that's right. She's even got Napoleon. So all the others show up here, and it's a great shot. And I like the dialogue here. We start with I don't know what this guy's name is here, but let's go through it. And the other guy's like, "Well, we're all here for treasure, so who's that?" Rox is saying like, "Oh, guys, there's treasure, there's Shaki, there's even devil fruits. Let's not kill each other over them. Let's work together this time and get something out of this." And the first one's like, "Well, we can't split Shaki." Wait, let me see if they show his name here. Oh, Gangzu is the other guy, right? Oh, the other guy's name is Gil Bastar, the one from the shot and from Kuma's point of view. They don't have the name of that. I think he looks like a fishman or something like that. I thought, no, wait, there it is. Barbell. Right, that's Barbell. Duh. Get this down. So we got Barbell, Gangzu, and this guy named Bastar. Gil. Okay, so Barbell's like, well, we can't split Shaki. And then we got, what's his name? Shiki. And then he's like, well, she's going to fall in love. Whoever saves her first, obviously. So, yeah, Shiki and the others, this is so funny. Oh, yeah, the dialogue here. The dialogue. So these guys are all fighting over her here. That's why I like the split first half. So we even got Whitebeard. So Shiki's like, oh, she's going to fall in love with whoever saves her first. But then Silver says, yeah, right. I don't know. He's like, that's true, but you're never going to get there before me. And John's just like, well, she'll fall in love with who gets the most treasure from here. And wait, what? So is it? I want to make sure I understand. I wonder if Blackbeard is referencing Shaki as a friend. He just says, yeah, I'm just concerned about my friend. But, you know, if Shaki falls in love with me, I'm not going to complain. And then Stussy's like, Newgate, how could you do that? Like he's cheating on her when he's always said to her, I'm not interested in you. Oh, it's so good the way he said that. And then Gloria also is just like, maybe if I save Shaki, Roger would be grateful to me. And oh, that's right. Rang Z isn't here. And Strusen points out, like, well, Rang Z stayed behind. We'll make sure he never comes back to the bar after that. He will ban him. And Lin, Big Mom says something here that I think is the most true. She's like, the most true, like, of the situation the other men are thinking about. Like, the whole world could turn upside down. She'll never pay attention to any of you. And then, so at this point, that was something too. And the other, when we see the scene in the this point where they end up together in the in 1096, he had pointed out he was concerned about Roger being there. But at this part of the conversation, he just says to Linlin, "Hey, well, if you get one of the devil fruits, will you give me one?" Because everyone knows she wants to have them for her kids. I wonder if this point if both Perospero and or Oven and Katakuri, and I forget Katakuri and Oven are triplets. I forget their other brothers' name. I wonder if any of them got all of them got their devil fruits. Yeah, Oven, the other guy with the I think the third one's the one who's got the genie fruit. I think that's their triplet. Or I know he's one of the other older ones in general. Look at that too. I didn't even notice that, but look at Silver X and Shiki here. Silver X is grabbing Shiki by his hair there. And yeah, this is just a great scene here. So we get that, and so they're coming in here hot, and the Navy are trying to fight back, but Rocks keep boldly claiming, "Oh, you guys don't stand a chance," and they're just running right through some of these ships. Oh, their ship must be really big then. That ship that much bigger than like the really big Navy ships? I didn't even notice that before. So here we go back to Dragon now, and these, of course, the Celestial Dragon's like, "What's going on? There's pirates. Hurry up and save us!" And all that same crap we saw before. This is like we saw when Sabo and the other captains invaded Marijwa. They were all complaining, "Oh, you better not let us get hurt." Oh, yeah, that's when Green Bull was fighting the giant captain. I can't think of her name right now, or his name, whatever. And so now we go to Dragon, and he's there with Shamrock and Shanks, and he's running away with them. So I don't know where they were left there. That's confusing. So he was with their mother a moment ago, and so by here he's got them, and he's running away. And as that happening, now the reports are coming, "Oh, the Roger pirates are showing up too." And then we switch to Dragon, like, "Oh, you guys okay? I can't believe they're not crying through all this." And so now we're getting to see the Marines are mobilizing and trying to get their logistics up. Then they're like, "Oh, get the Celestial Dragons over here, and they mustn't be harmed and all that stuff." And then now we go back to the. Sorry, I'm switching around. There's so much excitement here going on. Wait, is this still? What's going on here? Wait a second. All right, there. I'm trying to see if I was recording still. It's like, oh my gosh! And the people are like, "Well, first Rox and now Roger is coming. What's going on? It's freaking end of the world." And then we get a nice shot here of them. It's not a double page like he did with the others, but we see Scopper and Rayleigh and Roger together, and some of the others. Who's saying that? Is that Rock saying it? I think Rock. One of them saying, "Yeah, I'm gonna go rescue Shaki." And it's the same stuff with the Rocks pirates. None of you ever shot, so just get some treasure. I think in this shot here where Roger getting run over by the others. Who did that? Take Shaki, and then it looks like Roger got run over by some of his other people there. And briefly we see Garling as he's hearing about this stuff going on. He's like, this is ruining my game. It feels like he's at golf, like, my par is ruined, or whatever that would be, because there are all these damn pirates coming in. And we keep getting good shots of all the Celestial Dragons and stuff. I like how Oda's balancing the main stuff happening, and we're seeing like all the other people like, it's almost like when an alarm going off when something happens like that, and it's like, oh, they show this stuff and they show that stuff. It's just really good. And now we get to see some more of the God Knights here, and I like some of these designs here. We got that mysterious one with the skull. I want to point out first, but then we saw that guy in the right. He's Gunko's part of Gunko's family. Or she's part of his family, because we still don't know what's going on, what her and Brooke was going on there. Then we got this new woman here who's got long dark hair, and she's wearing like a vest with just a pants with like leather pants looking thing with a tight sash, and she's wielding some kind of blade also with no guard. And then we got this guy. I think that one on the right. I think that's Killingham, isn't it? It's got similar look, or maybe that's a family member to Killingham. This really tall one with the different colored hair. And then finally we got some guy that looks kind of like a fishman. No, he's an Oni thing. He's got an ear. When he had the teeth, made me think of a fishman, but he looks more like an Oni. And he's up there too. So we don't. So now we found out how many of that is that? Because I think they said, how many did they say there were of them? 9 or 10? So we got 4. Oh, we got 7 here total. And Gunko's part of it too. I don't know. Well, actually, the way they were saying it too, does that mean she wasn't really formally part of the God's Knights though? I forget. I think they said there was it 9? Or I gotta look again how many there are total in the present point. I mean, here we see 7 of them here. And yeah, oh yeah, look at that. He's wielding the one with the skull. The cow skull is wielding a scythe, and so they're lining up together. Obviously, so now they're mobilizing together to fight back off the pirates. And so we get a shot here of the God's Valley as stuff's starting to go down. And I think this is gonna be the last shot here. Yeah. So the last page here now, we first start seeing we got the Whitebeard and the others just cutting through. Yeah, him and Shiki there cutting through the Marines like nothing. And finally, we get this shot here. A cannonball thrown to the ground there. I don't know if that hit where Whitebeard was, but it hits some of the pirates there. And we switch to Roger and Rox saying like, "Oh, what's that?" And finally, everyone's like, "Oh, yay!" It's like Vice Admiral Garp. And he's coming in, holding a cannonball. And I think that's Bogart over there, isn't that? So Bogart's been with him a long time too. And it's just like, it just ends right there. Everyone, the Marines are like, yay, the hero's here. Or maybe he wasn't called the hero until after this. I think that's how it's supposed to be. So yeah, this is like, holy crap. This is built up. This whole setup of everything happening. And the stuff with Dragon is probably the most interesting one because now we're like, okay, we see how he was in here and all that stuff went down that he ended up seeing that made him want to leave the Marines. He probably left not too long after this, I would suspect. I wouldn't be surprised if he left promptly and just started wandering the world a bit, trying to defrag, as it were, from all this, what he saw, what he witnessed here. So now the question though is, what does he the one who puts Shanks into a treasure chest? Or how does that going to happen? The last thing we see is him running off with them to protect them from danger. To try to, I think, the other thing I want to point out with that is I think what we saw here is he felt really guilty for what happened with Teach and his mother becoming part of the game. I think somehow he wanted to save them, but it ended up not. They ended up becoming part of the game. So then when he finds Shamrock and Shanks' mom and she asked him to save them, he's like, okay, I just messed up with that other boy and the mother. I have to make up for it. I have to make amends. I'm going to save these twins instead. So that's just the fate, the connections here that Oda created are so interesting. And then they have him also save Kuma and Ivankov and Ginny from being killed by that celestial dragon. Really set up nice this stuff. Like he saved these two that were like how many years later is that? 16 years later, he's gonna have the two of them become top officers. Oh, 3 of them with Ginny. Sorry, Ginny again. All 3 of them are gonna join up as top officers. It's just really cool connection that he happened to be there. And they didn't even hint at that when he had them. We had that chapter where they were talking about 60 chapters ago, and he just talked about finding no justice there. I'm sure that was in that conversation. It just Oda was clever in holding that off to reveal it here at this point of how he was there with them at the whole time on the other side as part of the Marines. And then the God's Knights. I'm so glad we got a good scene of the God's Knights here, and what they're I just wondering how many of these other guys are still there. That'll be interesting to find out. I'm sure some of them won't. Oda's pretty good about sometimes having stuff where some characters aren't there anymore. Maybe like one of them die here. I have a feeling. My guess would be on Gunko's pal, her family member there, the one with the big hat. If I had to guess which one if one of them goes down here, it'd be that one at least, because we know Garling and Summer and Gunko still survive. Are still alive, but we're not sure about these others yet. Oh wait, is that guy got wings too? I think he's got wings, that big thing. Okay, yeah. This was a very interesting chapter. Holy crap. Whoa. I'm gonna end this here now. I got an appointment soon, so like, if I think of other stuff, I'll break down some other stuff later on in like a short or something, because I need a break from all this. My head is just spinning. I read this 3 times, and I still caught more stuff here too as well. And it's just holy crap. Um, this was just so much happening. And yeah, thanks for watching.